Hey guys, MTast here, and I think that this is a pretty important news day. I think this is really important to talk about, even though it's Eververse. Now, I don't normally talk about Eververse. I don't really like Eververse. I think that there's some major issues with it, or at least there were, and they're addressing one of the biggest complaints that I have right here. And I'm very excited to talk about this because I think it's a pretty consumer-friendly move from Bungie. I think it is a very goodwill move from Bungie, and it affects all of us. Whether you spent money in the Eververse store or you earned some of these awesome items through the bright engrams and leveling up, you're going to have some Eververse ornaments available to you. So what they're doing is they're taking all of the Eververse items that you've unlocked and they're making them universal mod components. If you've got some cool helmets that you don't use because the stats on it are garbage, well, you can now roll them onto your other helmets and enjoy those looks. So in September, when the new gear launches, they're going to have an ornament slot, and you're going to be able to move all these Eververse items onto that item. So if you want to essentially transmog your best gear, you can do that. One of the reasons why I never touched Eververse is because most of the time the perks on it were garbage. They weren't the best in slot. There was no real reason to use them. And while some of them looked cool, I didn't touch them because I care more about the stats and the perks than the looks. Well, now I can look cool as well as be cool with stats. And I'm pretty damn excited about that. Armor being overhauled in this way means that I can take that ugly helmet that might have the best stats and make it look really, really cool. And I think this is a good move for Bungie. I think this is a great move, honestly, because it makes the Eververse store a little bit more palatable for someone like me. If I see something that looks really cool, I am more likely to buy it or hope that I get it unlocked because I can now move it onto the good gear. And so that's going to definitely attract me more, but Bright Dust is now making a major change as well. All of the items in the game right now that you have that can break down into Bright Dust, do it before the launch of Shadowkeep. The reason why I say that is because all of that can be broken down into Bright Dust, but when you go to purchase these cosmetics back, after September, they'll only be Glimmer, and they'll be Legendary Shards. And so what this means is you can accumulate a bunch of this Bright Dust, a much more rare resource than Shards and Glimmer, and you can then buy new cosmetics once once Shadowkeep launches. So, honestly, you should really just dismantle all of your Eververse items, for the most part, unless there's some you really like to use, because that Bright Dust can be kind of stockpiled, and after the fact, you're not going to be able to earn it the same way. Bright Dust is going to be earned through, bounties and activities and things like that. So if you can build up a bunch now, you're going to be in a much better position going into Shadowkeep. So, the summed up recap is all Eververse armor, new and armor you've acquired before, is being converted into universal ornaments. Universal ornaments can be attached to newly acquired legendary gear, aka gear that drops after September's new update. Bright Dust is going to come from bounties, not dismantling stuff you spent money on, and Eververse items can now be pulled from your collections with Glimmer, Legendary Shards, instead of Bright Dust. So there's literally a note on it. Dismantle all of your unused Eververse items to maximize your Bright Dust reserves. Thanks. See you soon, Luke Smith. Luke Smith is literally telling us to abuse this system as best we can now so that we don't have to spend extra money down the road. That is a good fucking attitude. Sorry for swearing, but that is a great attitude. That is a very good attitude to have. He's telling us to change well in advance. We can prepare for it. It's a good change, but he's still saying, guys, Here's a little inside tip. Here's a little inside tip for you. That's cool. That's it from me, though, guys. I just wanted to cover it. I'm sure you guys could read this yourself, but I know a lot of people don't read the Bungie, weekly updates and things like that. So, okay, I'm done. That's the end of the video. Bye-bye.